Welcome back. We're here to do the Twin Flame Live update. Yes, it has been a while since I've been live. I won't be on camera, however, the cards will be. We will later be doing a super chat within YouTube. So if you do want to join that, go through to the premiere of it, and it gives you all the instructions as to how to do the super chat lives. I do have disclaimers, obviously, associating to such. Also, we do have the members perks if you do want the pre-release content. We may have the star signs that may be a little bit late this month. That is because I do have 2 jobs now. So we're re-navigating how to actually schedule all these videos that are directly my responsibility. So without further ado, let's get into the Divine Partnership update for the Twin Flame Collective. Now, I have selected a ruin cast. This is the ruin cast that has come through for the joint connection. And we're going to go through with the book. And the book that I'm using is this, should you wish to actually use it. It does come with a selection of them and you can select it. The name of the author is on screen. All rights reserved to these individuals. Now, on the mundane level, let's take a look at what I see coming through. Number 1, it corresponds to black. And again, we do have both Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces retrograde. We definitely are getting that psychic protection. It could be that we feel very tired, very fatigued, really wanting to protect ourselves. And really after the moon in Cancer, a lot of us during the week would have felt quite fatigued. So if you were feeling that, especially wanting to go into hermit mode, maybe not feeling as motivated, my best advice, which is what I've been giving to the members, is in order to be productive, you know, Neptune can really throw a spanner in the works, especially in the collective, because what it was going to bring up was taboo issues association to spirituality, religion, gurus, astrology, tarot. So, you know, we can almost get to this disbelief, especially in the twin flame path. It is very psychic in nature. So you can really be seeing things on your peripheral. You can be feeling very unsafe. You might, especially because Cancer is an emotional feeling. It is a feminine energy. It used to be a masculine energy, but it's very intuitive. So that moon really did a number on us, but it is that brand new chapter that we're moving into, especially within our twin flame path. And it really does merge all the way back from 2020 because we are wrapping up a cycle with Pluto. And I'm noticing that the number really for this ruin cast is 14, dropping down to a 5. And it's a lot of changes spiritually that we are going through. So it is, you know, it's almost like we want to be safe. Are we making the right decision? Are we looking at this circumstance in our lives, especially relating to love with Venus retrograde, in a correct manner? Also, the element is water, okay? So that is one of the basic ruin casts. So the meaning can be uncertainty. So the uncertainty we're dealing with, we're wanting to take a minute to really dive deep and to directly look at our twin flame path and situations in our own personal lives of where we stand. Now, diving deeper into the esoteric. So the divinational meaning of this ruin cast that is crowning the twin flame collective. Mystery, chance, an unpredictable event, intimate encounters, esoteric, unfolding, fate, karma, feminine mystery, initiator of dreams and incubation, reversed, which it is looking to the past, which does completely make sense because we are in a Venus retrograde and divine feminine's going through a huge change right now. I'm really noticing through the astrology is linking. We're having anything down to superstars. There can be superstars passing, superstars maybe separating, marriages, you know, it's all those things really relating to Venus. It's money, it's value, it's how we feel about love. But again, because the nodes have moved, we also in our own personal lives, it's a very positive omen for twin flames. It's again, especially because Venus is retrograde, but especially because the North Node has now moved into the house of Aries. So what that means is the place of self, and it's selfhood. So it's how can we be independent? And it's one thing that really comes out really loud and clear in the twin flame path is to be independent and not codependent. And it's quite a requirement of the twin flame path. And really over the next 18 months, that's what it's going to require. So how can divine feminine and divine masculine be individual, but also merge the path. And I do see that as a very positive omen coming through. In reverse, irritational fear, which is very possible at this point in time, vulnerability, ill, fortune, faults, mistakes exposed. And so, yes, what can happen during Venus retrograde is gossip coming through the grapevine, things that were hidden being found. Could be missing people that, missing persons cases. Suddenly, these people are actually found. Again, Leo can be like the sun. I noticed definitely there was these elements coming through like Mercury retrograde. And I remember saying to Giggle, it's really strange because I do believe Uranus also will relate to it, but definitely because we do have placements in Virgo and the sun at the moment, the physical sun is in minimum. We are having solar flares coming in. So it's again going to make us quite tired. There's going to be issues with technology. And so that really is coming through at a collective as well. But we are feeling quite frizzled in the frequency, and it can be directly impacting us. So from a spiritual point of view, yes, it's totally understandable that you're looking to the past. And sometimes when we're assessing the path, we tend to go based on the path, right? Based on the past. So you particularly could be looking at your past with your twin and saying, oh my gosh, is this cycle going to repeat? Have we actually changed? And again, because Venus is retrograde, it's very common that that happens. Where are we today? Where are we going? All of those questions can be coming up. And because we had the moon in Cancer, yet again, you may be feeling very uncertain and really needing to maybe get into the eye of the storm of the circumstance. To the untainted, fate is simply a matter of chance in which we play no active part, hence the association with the dice and cup and games of chance. But the fact is that our every thoughts and actions is stirring into a cauldron by our own hand and the unwittingly brewing of our own fate. When we draw this ruin, we will see if we have loaded the dice in our favor or if we have brewed ourselves a bitter drought that may be a bitter pill hard to swallow, in which the hidden will be revealed. On a more esoteric level, the feminine mystery can come to light, which can place us in a very privileged position with regards to understanding our place in life. Reversed warns against scrambling or irritational fear of the unknown. The mystery of life are not threatening, and in the end, the only thing that dies is fear. And it's funny because I really was feeling that from a very spiritual point of view, is that a lot of us directly have been, those self-fulfilling prophecies. What's coming up? How are we going to deal with this circumstance? Is it going to be okay? Very common, okay? Now, the crowning energy is trickster. And I thought this was a beautiful card to come up for the joint connection. Number one is because we do have placements in Virgo. It can be a bit brutal, okay? It's positive because we're going to want detail, which it's a little bit like Spock. We're taking the emotion out of the situation, even though the emotions can be pretty volatile right now. It's like, give me the devil in the detail. What exactly are you saying? Put your money where your mouth is. And both of you really can be projecting that energy towards each other, having high expectations for your body, your image, your actions, your words, maybe even thinking more before you speak and really diving down deep into it and saying, okay, where directly do we stand in this path? What exactly are we physically looking at this point in time? I would say this is a time to go with the waves of the ocean, with the waves of the astrology and understanding them so that you can navigate this part of your twin flame path more effectively. If we are getting up in our head, what we are telling ourselves, there can be a lot of paranoia, there can be a lot of worry and irritational fear. It's almost wanting transparency. And the thing is, especially in my path, I was always diving for that and, requiring that, so to speak. And then it was suddenly this moment in time where I realized anyone can lie to you. But if you are coming true and you are really being quite transparent and handing that person a golden ticket and saying, look, these are my requirements. Let's see how it goes. No promises made. you know that you have yourself as a whole and you can take that away. And so if somebody is maybe not being completely transparent with you, it's to do with them. Okay, so it's like they're not being transparent with themselves, therefore they're unable to articulate. But if you stand in your truth, it actually mirrors that frequency back to that person, where directly they say, hey, it's actually safe to be transparent here. It's safe for me to actually express how I'm feeling to this person. And even in the twin flame collective, even if you're directly not in communication, this energetically goes down the line. So don't ever think that these readings really are based on an energy frequency. So for instance, if you directly are in communication with your twin, it's still going to relate. If you're not, it's again coming through in a very psychic level. So don't worry where you are on your path. You're always where you need to be, and you're always ascending to this higher level. I was especially noticing with the angel numbers, which is a series that I'm really going to be developing. Some of them don't really discuss how can I explain them? They don't really go into the depth of, okay, well, I've been on a twin flame path. I've been on an awakening journey for a long time. They generally have it very general. So it's like, okay, so when we do see these numbers or when they stop, what directly does that mean? We're always on an ascended path. So it's not welcome to your ascension. It's more you're at a different level each stage. Even those that are in union are always going to a different level. Okay, so never judge yourself based on that, but definitely there can be this frequency going on. Now, interestingly enough, we do have the connection coming up in a positive way. Love is really on both parties' minds at this point in time, and it is a very serious time frame. So it can be where both divine masculine and divine feminine are thinking of love. They're thinking of their contracts. They're thinking of each other and the direct connection. You also can be thinking about previous connections, but this has really done a number. This could have been overindulgence. This could have been obsessive thoughts. This could have been a very overwhelming kind of week in your path. But there can be some toxicity that you're trying to dilute here. There can be some circumstance that has been going to extremes. And I really feel there's a great deal of value that both parties really do hold in each other, but it's almost like you want to hold each other back to a degree for worry that maybe it could go a bit pear-shaped. I do feel it's going to dissipate, but I do feel at the moment there could be this feeling almost that you want this person to actually commit more, to do more. Some of you also in your path could feel a little bit unmotivated. I always say we can't necessarily answer all those questions at once. One example can be when you haven't seen that person for a while and you're making this assumption in your mind of that you're over the person. I don't think we completely can. There's the trauma that we deal with, there's the healing, and then we come into this oneness, which is acceptance. But I always would say, unless that person is standing in front of me, I really can't answer that question. I do feel a lot of the twin flames at the moment are making major decisions in their life, and there's a little bit of how would I put it? There's a little bit of dissolving of situations and fear based on, okay, if I am feeling this vibration, what does it mean? And I'd say just go with that wave, really go with it, because there is a lesson, there is something here that is changing. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I also think personal things within the path are really being dissolved on each side of the fence. That directly can be some circumstances that you're dealing with, be it it's work, be it it's family-related dynamic or a physical living environment. It's the things that you do for socialization. It's almost like you want a shake-up within the connection. And sometimes, when everything else in our life physically is ticked, we tend to say to ourselves, the only thing really that is lacking is love. But, is it? Sometimes it is a circumstance in our life that's really causing a big conundrum that we're needing to really move away from, but we have some fear. Another thing that really has been coming up in the collective, especially through with my clientele, how do you approach this in the most delicate way? I do recall a person saying to me during the week, and this was not a client, this was a soul friend. that they were saying that, people that are in relationships have an easier time because there's money coming in from both sides, or there's love, and it's like, so there's support, and there's those things, which can be true. However, with the North Node in Aries, what we are going to find is we are forced to be singular within connections. So what would that look like? It could be that both parties are needing to work, both parties have their own financial circumstances going on, and so you're coming through in an independent way, and that is what is going to bode best. So if you find that there is a circumstance in your life at this point in time that is calling you to move away from it, and you're thinking, hey, if I was in a relationship, this would make it so much easier. Yes, but no, not necessarily, because the astrology is pushing all of us to ascend to a higher level. I do feel there's some shifts happening in masculine's life here. I also feel that in the past, I do feel both parties here don't want to sell themselves short. And I do feel divine masculine is really looking at feminine as the positive energy, as a person that they really do want to invest with. Especially in hindsight 360, it's almost like they're looking at previous connections and saying, I was really selling myself short. I had a golden ticket here right in front of me, and this is someone who wants to give me the world. Why was I prospectively thinking that, this was a dud deal, or this was something where the person was lying to me and it wasn't something that they wanted to give me? I do feel both parties here are really taking a critical eye to life. Could you be taking each other personal, and that has been causing conflict? Yes, there is some loss and doubt, but there's a blockage here. I do feel divine masculine is very quiet at the moment in their demeanor. They could be very different as well, especially for those of you who are in communication. This attitude that they can be coming through with is very reflective, okay? So they're very reflective in the circumstance. Love is definitely crowning center, but I do feel there's going to be some home truths coming out in the next few weeks. And I do feel there is going to be a push for both parties here to really, be on the same page. There could be a little bit of a power struggle. But again, I don't directly feel it is from the connection. I feel it's external. Let's have a look at masculine's energy. Now, masculine really is coming out of the cold, okay? So if they were in hermit mode, if they weren't communicating, I do see the Cancer moon really did affect them. There could have been circumstances surrounding family and home. This could have been inheritances and legacies. Could have been shifts of jobs, but definitely within their emotions, something that wasn't dealt with is really coming to the forefront. And I do feel they're going to be open about it. They could be more open and transparent towards you in association to, okay, why have they been feeling the way they have? They have been quite susceptible to psychic attacks. This could have been worry. It could have been stress to do with money. Again, that is dissipating as well, because they have been in the thick of it for a while, but they're just looking at it very differently. They definitely, from a spiritual point of view, are realizing that they're, how can I say it? It's almost like what they thought they weren't worth before, they're now realizing they are worth it. And that can be where they can open their heart chakra and directly allow you in. I do feel if they do have a concern to do with something and what their status is, the one message that my guides were showing me is in the past, due to karmic relationships, maybe they were the money bags in the situation. Maybe they, unless they could give something, they weren't equal. Does that make sense? And I think they could be really suffering from that. At this point in time, it's like, where's my finances coming from? How can I provide something to my divine feminine? Am I an equal? Will that person love me if I don't have those things? And I do think they're moving beyond it, but I think they're facing that shadow. I feel they're really letting that go and it's not defining them anymore. I do feel there could have been a shake-up, and I feel that they're really wanting to liberate themselves so they can move forward. They're wanting to have some fun. They're wanting to lighten up. They've got some real goals that they're having. And I also feel they're really considering marriage with divine feminine, but really to the root core, what does that physical relationship look like? And I do think the thing that they've been able to mark against was previous connections and what they were like. And definitely from the joint connection, you can see that they're really looking at it, you and other people. It's a total different paradigm. So for them, marriage is a very significant thing, but they're looking at you as a more a person they want to invest with, somebody that works equally, and they're trying to have the strength and the courage to get out of a toxic situation, but also to have the courage to come towards you and to really rebuild. They do feel quite tired at this point. Some of them could be a bit run down, but yet again, they do see themselves living with you, wanting to live with you. Whatever those little potholes are in the road, they're working through them. There is, like I said, a little bit of fear associated to it. But at the same time, whatever that instability is, they know that there lies the problem, there lies the solution. I do feel they're going to articulate this, but I do feel, just don't personalize it. Whatever they're working through right now, I do think they're going to find the solution to this. And that I just kind of feel they're biting the bullet, honestly. I feel they're kind of looking at it going, do you know what? There's going to be potholes in the road. There's going to be things that I'm not completely sure about. There can be some things that are coming at left field, but I'm just going to dive in. I do feel they're aware of an enemy. They are aware of where these problems come from. This can be their thought processes. It could be physical people they're surrounding themselves with. It could be a physical working environment. Whatever that is, they already are moving beyond it and still tackling it very much with the notion in hand that they're moving towards you and wanting to build. Let's have a look at yours, your crowning energy. Yeah, you're feeling something from the past is coming back, and this could be your physical twin. This could be a circumstance. Some of you are a bit worried about exes. Some of you could be thinking about this could be a love interest that comes towards you. I do feel some of you also could be nostalgic or relating to, okay, should I pick an easier path? Do I need to be more realistic with my decisions? Some of you were even wondering, like, how do you, have the gift of the gab? How do you entice this person to see your side of the story? Some of you directly are aware of and this is more for those that are in a karmic relationship, like the twin is in a karmic relationship. You could very much be aware of a manipulative energy, and that can be really concerning you. You do feel this person needs to level up. I do directly remember back to my path. I felt initially the same, but I would say, I don't know how well I would have done with the karmic. I mean, in knowing the karmic and seeing, my perspective very much changed. They are actually stronger than you think, and there are direct reasons why they do tackle these things in certain ways. I would directly be quite transparent with them, especially about what your needs are, because I do see, especially from their reading, is that they do have the tools, and although they're aware of what these circumstances are, they're still moving towards you. And it's almost both parties do directly challenge each other to be the best version they can be. So don't get scared to have those hard conversations. But just really gauge it, trust your guides, gauge it, and trust your instincts, especially if you're seeing signs and synchronicities. A, what were you thinking at the time? Look at it relating to your path, and then B, look at it relating to the twin flame path, because it's going to have two meanings, right? Okay, you're really wondering where that person was. Some of you are actually going to start seeing the old version of your twin, the more high vibrational energy. The more mature, changing energy. I also do feel some of you are tackling a circumstance where there is another energy in your life. So, take it as it lands. Some of you could have a work colleague that's very interested in you. Some of you may be looking at a brand new chapter coming in, and it can be really concerning you. There could be a lot that you're trying to balance. Some of you are wondering when this karmic cycle's wrapping up. Some of you don't want to bring more karma onto yourself. You're like, I don't want no more drama. Ooh, what's going on here, feminine? Okay, look, I just have to tell you what I'm saying in the cards. Generally speaking, in a path, we do have a mirror. Okay, so if there is a pocket group of you and there is another person talking to you at the moment, it is going to come up in your journey. All right. And so simultaneously, I do feel this person's really wanting to be transparent to you towards their past. You feel that they're not telling you the whole truth with the circumstance. Something's really niggling at you. But you also could be getting text messages. They could be crosswise relating to text messages, especially between you and your twin or you and another person. Trust your instincts with it and sit with it and just move forward. And don't take everything as gospel. I'm telling you, at the moment, things are really acting like a Mercury retrograde. They're also making references to the fact some of you could be feeling as though you really quit the journey, yet you're looking at twin flame videos. It's like, it's okay to change your mind on a day-to-day. It's perfectly normal. It's like one day you can go, you know what, I'm over this. I mean, number one, we wouldn't be writing it if we are. We just wouldn't even be talking about it anymore. So if you're having those days, just say, I'm having a day. It's okay, I'm having a day. Okay, you're really wanting to make good choices. You could be talking to friends. You could be really looking around. You may be hearing gossip through the grapevine. You could be looking at different things that you need to do to make you happy. There could be things that your family are saying, and you're kind of going, okay, what do I directly believe in this circumstance? How do I directly feel, regardless of what my tribe, my family, you could feel very pulled in two directions at this point in time. I also feel those of you that have children, they can be really causing a bit of a ruckus at the moment for you. It's so funny, 2 times. This is the 3rd time now I'm being seen Christmas in July. And I do feel there's a reset here. Some of you also could be looking at your location of living. Some of you are going to be offered to move with your twin. This could be a dream some of you have had. Some of you are like, do I just move? Do I go on a holiday? Where do I go? I do feel they're feeling this, and I feel the urgency. It's almost like they're wanting to move towards you. I do directly feel for some of you, this person could turn up at your door. Some of you are actually going to hear from karmics. This can be on your masculine side. It's like they may try and text you. They may add you via social media. This could have already happened. You also may have some old insecurities that do crop up. This can be jealousy. I do feel those of you that are a bit further on the path, it's not really major. But I also feel you're being very cautious about what you're telling people. Very selective. Okay, I do see some of you are going to get information about your twin. This is going to be coming through the grapevine. My guides are saying be very careful how you take it. Not everything is as it seems. And I don't get that in a bad way. I get it in a positive way. So, if naysayers are coming through trying to test you on your path, that's only something you can decide if it's relevant to you. I do feel you could be getting gossip about a breakup, a financial entanglement, some stresses. If you get worried that maybe they can't cope, I want you to go back into your aura and say, if I can do this, they can. And I do feel somebody's really shaking things up. For some of you, you can be looking at upgrading your home, changing your home. You may be looking to move. You may be looking to shift jobs. This also can be relating to finances. Okay, last messages for the collective, please. What do they need to know? This is a big week of thinking, okay? This is a big week of thinking. I do feel a lot of recovery. I do get some surprises, and I think this is going to shift very quickly. This is going to feel like it's intensifying, right? Not in a bad way, in a radical, logical way. I would say if you're wanting to unwind and de-stress, I would say go and do something physical. If you have felt quite burnt out from a psychological point of view, it's probably better to exercise, even if it's running on the spot for 20, even if it's 5 or 10, just to get that frequency out. And I would say, do things that are really helping the body recover, helping to actually unwind. I do feel you're moving towards a goal. Look, you've got the star card as the outcome. I do feel especially there is some value, there is some luck. You're trying to play cards right. I do feel if there are some spiritual tests coming on masculine side, trust me, they're coming on feminine side. This is a huge upgrade that you guys are going through. So try not to be hard on yourself. The changes you are going through, you're going to feel very different on the other side of Venus direct. Okay, so at the moment, if you are second guessing yourself, if you are feeling the path isn't moving, I do feel some honesty is coming through, especially in the joint connection. I feel there could be some transparency, there could be some revelations. I definitely feel some honesty. So if that's something that you're requiring, be open to hearing it. Okay, be open to understanding what this person is trying to tell you in a roundabout way. This can be coming through in your dreams, in signs and synchronicities, or directly through your twin. I don't see anything negative here this week. I do see something quite sudden happening. I would say there can be a sudden shift, and some of the decisions I do feel that divine feminine are trying to make, some of you are putting a pause on it for fear that the outcome won't be positive. I want you to trust yourself. Do come through and join the members. We do have lots of perks there. Some of these may be changing, which I might be chatting with the members. That's more surrounding the star signs. All the rest of the content will continue as scheduled, but we will see how those things will go. I am going to be later doing the super chat. If you do want to come through and join our super chats today, come through, and separately the members will be getting their next edition of Masculine, Feminine and the Karmic Third Party. So all those new updates I will keep you posted with. I am going to be bringing new information and education content. If that's something you want to support the channel with, come through. Love and light, and I hope to see you on the super chats and for our new updates.